welcome back to Raising the Robins, Carshalton Athletic on Football Manager 2019, and it's Season 3, Episode 6 I believe today. And last time out we had Paul Town, today we've got Hemel Hempstead in the league. We're going to get to how we've got between the last game at Paul and today shortly, as always, but starting on this screen now, the general screen within the club menu, and we are favoured personnel already after 2.5 seasons, nearly 3 seasons. Jordan Carey's already in there as well, Omar Karoma is in there, and we've also got Ricky Corbera as an icon. Matt Elverson as well, I'm not 100% sure who he is, but he's in there, he's not clickable, so he must be a back in the day one. And legends, we have none. Hopefully we'll be there very, very soon. We'll probably fly up these fairly quickly after a couple of seasons, I'd imagine, so hopefully that'll be the case. Sutton AFC Women are still the rivals. I don't think we've added. I think we've lost one, but we haven't added any more in there. There's no other rivals, no fierce rivals yet. Possibly as we get towards Sutton next season, if you get promoted and they don't get relegated, of course, then that could be one. Or if they don't get promoted as well, of course. Derby's none. I mean, I'm sure Sutton will be classed as that. I would have thought possibly AC Wimbledon as well, but not at the moment. So let's go on to the games. I think there's only a couple actually, maybe 3. Yep, it is just the 3 games, and we started this off with Woking, who I think were about 9th or 10th in the league. Very tight game. We probably deserved to win the game all in all things considered. We had more shots, more on target, that sort of thing. Edged the possession as well. Max Morn got his first goal, I think, for the club just after half time. We were knocking him in the first half, but we couldn't get the goal, couldn't get the breakthrough. Straight after the half time, Max Morn, from outside the box, playing great goal from what I remember. Good strike anyway. Pardo was giving us a bit of grief before he went off injured. He's only got a 6.5, but he was playing quite well. He seemed to get on the end of a few things and a few long balls, but our keeper was just making a few saves. He got a 7.1. And then just on 68 minutes, Omar Karoma made sure of it, 2-0. I mean, there's a few little scares in there after that, but we were fairly confident we were going to see the game out. Next up was an away game at Eastleigh, and I think they were 4th at the time, might even still be. We'll have a look at the league table in a minute. And they come at us with a 4-3-3, 3 strikers, so I was a little bit wary at that point. They missed a penalty on 8 minutes to take the lead. Our goalkeeper saved it with a great save. He only gets a 7.5, 2 games in a row where he's played phenomenal. And then we kind of they had a bit of a domination early on, a good few shots, but we regrouped, and then we got a long throw which Omar Karoma got on the end of. I don't know how many goals that is now, 31, 32, something like that, I think, for the season. He's having an amazing season. He got that on the end of a long throw and just got ahead of the keeper and got it in there. They did equalise though, and it was probably the worst goal I've ever seen. It's from a corner. It just sort of ping-ponged around about 5 or 6 times, and I think it ended up, it wasn't classed as own goal, but it certainly looked like one. And then Carey came off the bench though to rescue us in the 86th minute. Probably give us a draw, probably would have been fair, but we dominated the possession. We did see a lot of the highlights, and I think a win felt right, even if it maybe wasn't. But it could have been too split of a draw away against a promotion rival, I guess. And then the final game was Oxford City at home. Not much to say in this game really. Popo gives the lead at 8 minutes for a corner. Very even game, not a lot happened. We dominated possession, they were very even on the shots, etc. They couldn't break through to get the equaliser. We held on. Not much else to say about that really. And then between the Eastleigh game and the what was the last one? Oxford City. We did actually have our youth intake. It's been mooted as being a golden generation. The main player being Nathan Clark, I think. And to be honest, that's not far wrong. If we go to potential, he must be near the top. Nathan Clark, yeah, he's the second best potential player in the club at the moment. I think Dan McKillop actually came through this time as well. He's not got quite the same talk about mentions as Clark did by the head of youth development, but I mean, he looks pretty decent. Certainly something, he's only 15 years old, he's got good teamwork, a few things that maybe need a bit of work, but he could be quite a handy little player in the future if he goes the way we hope. But yeah, Nathan Clark, he could actually step in and be in and around the first team next season. I might even give him a few games this season if our fate is decided fairly soon. But he's got good pace, he's got good physicals at the moment. A bit of strength and stamina may be needed. especially if he's got that pressing forward role. He's in that good determination as well. 2-star current already, 4 up to 5% star potential. His finishing maybe needs a bit of work and a few other things, but at 15 years old to come through our youth academy like that, yeah, I mean he's good. And if you look at our youth team, we've got a lot of high rated potential players. There's a bit of way for them to actually realise that potential. We've got Jamie Palmer came through I think last year. We integrated him into the first team a little bit at the start of the season. He's gone on loan now, but he looks like he could progress quite nicely as well. He's 18, he maybe came through 2 years ago maybe. We've got Corcoran starting to, he looked like he was on the way out and wane a little bit, but he's starting to pick up a little bit more again now. He's only 17 of course. We are training him in that midfield role, I think box to box role. In fact I need to check if he is still, because he's been on loan I think. Did he go on loan? No, he's still training it. He's not quite there yet, but he's getting progression, which is the main thing. But that brings us to today in Hemel Hempstead. Let's go to the league table actually. Where are we? Vanarama National League South, there we go. So you might have spotted it at the start, we are top. I don't know if it's still top or just top. I can't remember where we ended last season, last episode. But we're 2 points clear. We've had a few games where they've dropped points, but it was when we narrowly, I think there was one game, there was a couple of games that looked like they were going to, but they salvaged it late on in the game and got a win where they were maybe drawing. But they have got Dartford today, whereas we have got Hemel Hempstead. So Hemel Hempstead are down here in 16th. But as much as I picked, I mean, I did say I didn't know where I was coming back for. I played it through at work today. When I saw that we had Hemel Hempstead the same week that Bournemouth had Dartford, that was the reason. Because if Dartford can take some points off Bournemouth, maybe even beat them, that puts us a long way to where we want to be, assuming we win today as well ourselves, of course. So we're going all out for that today. So I think we're home against Hemel Hempstead. I'm not too. No, we're not. We're away. And obviously Bournemouth are at home to Dartford, so that's going to be a very tough game for them. Still quite tight in the playoff places. We've been assured of relegation, so I think we've given out a load of bonuses already. We've had to sign a few more players up to contracts because Bournemouth, among the Gateshead, among others, try to poach our players that aren't on contracts. So I've had to put them down on the actual contracts to actually make sure we keep hold of them, which is a bit annoying, especially when we're trying to build a bit of money and a bit of bank. But it is what it is. Chippenham, I mean Weymouth are in for shout, Woking maybe for shout, Hampton, Richmond. After that it's a bit far away, but I'd say up to about maybe Haringey is fairly set. Maidenhead maybe as well. Certainly Chelmsford, Eastleigh perhaps. You know, it's still a bit of a battle to go on there. I don't know if any of those have got each other today. Weymouth and Hampton are playing each other, so that could be a big game. You know, if Hampton get that back, that's 50 points. Yeah, that's very much a big gap closed, depending how everything else goes. So let's jump into today's game and see the lineup. So here are the lineups. Again, they're playing a variation of a 4-3-3 kind of 4-1-2-2-1, or the game calls it something different. I can't remember exactly what it is. Is it 4-3-2-1 or something? No, I can't remember exactly what they call it. We've gone with our tried and tested 4-4-2. The only kind of new faces perhaps that might have changed it a bit, Osua's at the left, Cabo's on the right, but I think this may have been the last episode as well. That was the case, and Morn and Brown have come in for O'Connor and Brown. Brown's on the bench because he's still playing fairly okay, but we've had a little bit of a change up. There was a bit of a dip in form, and O'Connor's stepped out for Brown. Same reason, and Brown has kind of done okay enough to keep his place. And up front we've got Tyrese Simpson. I've not been really happy. At the start of the season we looked like we had 4 good strikers who were all competing for 2 spots and going to actually make it a competition. Really now Corona is carrying the team. Carey hasn't quite hit the heights since he's come back from injury. Bowler's kind of faded off a little bit. Kelman hasn't, is it Kelman? Something like that. Hasn't quite been there since he come back from injury either. So giving Simpson a go. He's done okay. He hasn't really scored. He's missed a few sitters, but he's been involved a bit more. But we're still trying to find that magical formula for up front. Maybe it's Nathan Clark we need to bring up. Who knows? Maybe he can do a bit of a job. He's got the pace. That's what we like in this division. A bit of pace goes a long way. But let's get into the game. And it's a very short square pitch, so we might have to look at dropping the line back a bit further so as not to get caught out by a few balls over the top. But we'll see as we go on. And there's a highlight here. It's their goal kick. Hopefully we can get on the end of this. We do, but it's such a small little pitch. We should have had that really. I don't know quite how they've got the ball there. And again there we've got 2 closing down 1 man, but he comes away with the ball. which is a bit disappointing. If we can nick it away and get a bit of a spring on, we just seem incapable of tackling the ball at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on. We finally have a chance. It's a throw from Corboa, finds Arthur Brown. Osu, cash in. It's popping around. Popo finds McDonald. And Chroma, he's in. 1-0. Great little ball just in behind there, and Chroma has the quality just to put it away. Play the track, Chroma track. So there's Popo, yeah, he just picks up the ball, loose ball, it's headed or cleared away. Does a little back heel or flick there, and great run, great ball, great pick out. McDonald finds Chroma, 1-0 for Carshalton. Don't know why I nearly said Fulham there, but we're not going to watch it. And they coming forward now this time. Get it clear, half clear. This is going to be the usual goal, isn't it? Oh, nearly. Not this time though, fortunately. And we're coming forward again. Chroma's dropped a bit deeper, finds Popo, who's stepped right up. But I mean, on this pitch, stepping up isn't a massive deal. I'm not sure how this pitch gets away with it, to be honest. But it's a ball in behind, that shouldn't be happening. They've equalised. Shouldn't be getting caught out. I mean, their goal was the same, really. A ball like that shouldn't be on this pitch happening, but we've seen them twice. And we're not going to watch that, unfortunately, this time. It's another chance here for Hemel Hempstead. We get the first... Oh, what was that? What was that? 2 goals right before half-time. Both of them absolutely shocking. This one, especially. What is this? Brown, Cashin just leaves it. It's a terrible ball and terrible reaction, and then the only person on their toes is their striker, who nips in and gets the easiest goal he'll ever score of his life. And as we go into half-time here, what started to be looking like a nice, not a stroll in the park, but easy enough game. And Dartford are beating Boreham Wood, so, you know, we need to take advantage. It's a chance to get a real bit of breathing space between us and Boreham Wood, but it's not happening. It's just remaining the same. It's another chance for Hemel Hempstead here. We get it clear. Can we counter? Again, I don't know how we've not taken that under control and carried on. Same again. It's far too easy. I don't know what's going on. It just seems to walk past us. Another corner. Keeper claims. Now, can we start an attack of our own, or is it just going to end the highlight? Corner for us. Osu, Popo. Popo's there. If he gets to the end of it, he tends to score. Not too disappointed about that. We're gonna. In fact, no, we won't make this time. We'll watch the replay first of all. He runs over to the, I assume, our dugout, our technical area. Celebrating with me, the gaffer, and the rest of the subs and the assistant manager. Great header. He beats 2 of them. I mean, this has not been a game for the purists of the goals, is it really? Let's be honest. We'll make that sub now. Actually, will we? It's still quite early. No, we will. We're going to make the one change. Tyree Simpson's going to make way for Jordan Carey. We've got a few players starting to look a bit jaded, so we'll keep the other 2 for a little bit later if we need them. Well, we will need them, I'm sure. We're going to make the final changes now because we've got a few looking very, very knackered out there. We're going to bring out... Max Moor's going to come off as well. He's on a booking as well, which we don't want to be instigating anything like that. I'm not too sure how the Dartford game is still getting on. Hopefully Dartford is still winning. This will at least give us a 1 point extra advantage on what we already had. I think, yeah, they are still losing. As long as we stay drawing, we get that. We keep 3. We now be 3 points ahead of them. What the hell? Outside the box again, and that's back to a 2 point advantage over Boreham Wood. And it's a corner to Hemel Hempstead. They're going to really add insult to injury here, aren't they? Back out to Parks. Crosses it in. Oh my god. How are we losing this game 4-2? The league hasn't updated yet. No, it has actually now. I think it just ticked over. 2 points clear of them. I mean, this is an embarrassment. Fortunately, Boreham Wood, as we saw, or as we think, aren't capitalising. Hopefully it stays that way as we're going right into the end of the death of the game, and we are going to lose, unfortunately. Yeah, it still looks like it's Dartford that have closing the gap. Yeah, disappointing, absolutely. I mean, that is an absolutely horrendous result. So we've got Maidenhead next as well, who are, 5th, I think, 4th or 5th. 5th at the moment it says there, but I don't know if that's counting today's games. How did they do today? They lost to Torquay, okay, but they are, dropped down to 6th. Okay, and Dartford did hold on to that 1-0 lead against Bournemouth, saw it out, so we remain a 2-point lead. Not the best episode, not the best result, but I mean, if we're going to lose, at least they lose at the same time. It would have just been nice to put a bit of breathing space and what would it have been, 5 points and totally clear. Yeah, that would have been nice. So we've got, let's see, 3 more episodes to make it the 9 episodes this season. So we're going to go obviously for 3 episodes in April. There's no May, bizarrely, hence why we've got a bit earlier than usual. So on Monday, I think this is for Friday's episode, yes it must be. So for Monday we're going to come back for, you'd have to say Dartford, wouldn't you? We'll maybe make that episode 2 perhaps. We'll come back for maybe Welling, do Dartford, and then we'll come back for the run-in if we have to do 2 or maybe 3 games. We'll see how we're getting on, how the league's forming. We'll kind of play it by ear, like we always do, but there is actually a specific reason for that today. So yeah, we'll come back. Yeah, I mean, I think the certainty is we're going to come back for Welling. Let's see how Welling are doing. 14th, so they're above Hemel Hempstead, which bodes us well, doesn't it? Minus 23 goal difference for Hemel Hempstead, and we still lose 4-2. With our plus 39 goal difference, that's absolutely insane. Carome's on 29 league goals. I thought he was on like 32 already, but apparently not. Dan Adams is on assists. He might have to actually come back in the team because I don't think Morn, he's doing alright, but he's not going to be quite that level. We need to give Dan Adams a chance back in the team. He's had a bit of a dip. Hopefully he can pick it back up. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's episode, please do drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please drop a sub down here as well. If you want to hit that bell for updates when new videos go up. I mean, you don't need too much because I'd like you to do it obviously, but videos are up pretty much every day at 12 o'clock. I'm doing Arsenal and Carshalton 5 days a week between them. Always at 12 generally. If I chuck in an extra episode, that will normally be in about 6 o'clock. So I've done 1 or 2 of those, and I've got another experiment hopefully coming out the same day as this episode. If I can get the rest of them recorded, I've got about 4 or 5 more to do. So hopefully. So yeah, any comments as well, I always say drop them down below, and until next time for the Welling game, I'll see you later. Take care.